So a lot of the music was written by local bands here in Halifax?
Yeah, I connected with Adrian Broom, who he's the tech guy for the show, and he runs Rocking for Dollars locally. And he's connected to the music industry quite a bit locally. And so he helped make those connections along with Sam Borak, who directed it. And so when I wrote it, I was thinking, oh, Michelle Skelding, who played with No Flowers Please and now is with Like a Motorcycle, would be great for this role. And then she came on board, and then she brought on Dale Boudreau, who was with No Flowers Please, and then we ended up with the Peacock Twins, who used to be in the Fantods, and then we ended up with Rob Tuff, who plays bass locally. So it just all kind of came together. And on top of that, we have other musicians like Laura Peak and Jason Vatour, who have all contributed to the show because we really did want this to be, a local experience and to have multiple styles of music. And one of the key things was there used to be a band called Piggy locally, and they wrote the song Gaudjon Street, which opens and closes the show.
Nice.
And they were quite popular in the early 2000s, and we kept saying, we really want a song that's like this. Oh, it would be great to have a song that's like this. And then we realized, oh, wait a minute, we could just ask them to use their song. And so we contacted Paul, who now does not live in Halifax anymore, and said, look, we have this musical, we want to use this song. And he said, yeah, great, yeah, you can use it.
Do you have a favorite song in the show?
Honestly, it's probably that.
Yeah.
It's, because Gaudjon Street, if you haven't heard it, is a song that tells exactly the story of Gaudjon Street. The idea that it's a community that's in a state between poor artists and the gentrification. And you can see it even in the bus stop, where here it's sort of old Gaudjon Street still, and then just down the street you have those huge theater lofts and all those condominiums going up. And you can really see that tension between old Gaudjon and new Gaudjon. And I'm not against gentrification, I'm not against improving a neighborhood, but when that happens, you kind of lose something, and eventually the artists are forced out, and that, the thing that made that community so great and what made people want to move there in the first place eventually goes away, and you end up with kind of a shell of that. And so when we wrote the show, when we were talking about the show, we centered it so that the whole show takes place in a building on the location of the bus stop theater. It's not necessarily the bus stop theater, because they talk about the building and it has qualities that the bus stop theater doesn't have, but it references the Company House across the street, Island Greek down the street. It references those landmarks, so it takes place here.
So it's really the perfect location for the show. You don't often get a location that meshes that well.
Yeah, exactly.